What is up, everybody? Oh, I gotta go back over my comments. What's up, Dragonfire? Hey, Tina, how you guys doing? Cupcakes. It's us. You. Well, you guys are cupcakes. I'm like General Cupcake or something or another. How we doing? Can you hear me okay? We are back and glad to be here. I like to say. I've been busy. I've been busy with other things. What's up, Drew? But I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be in the shop. I'm glad to be building things again. It's been a while, and I've been out in the shop today building a new desk, and I miss it. I miss it a lot. I miss it a lot. I'm also looking for my other camera, and I don't know where it is. Huh? Shit. I was going to show you guys the desk, or part of the desk, but I cleaned up out here too, and now I can't find anything. You know how it goes. The break's been great, man. I just last couple of days I was sick, which kind of sucked. But other than that, since the first of the year, I've been busy as heck. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Thank you, Tina. What are your thoughts on the extra 40 watt? Okay, so let's just get right to it. Let's get to that 40 watt, guys. I'm gonna give me 1 sec. It's dark in the shop. I'm looking for something. I just want to see if I can find my camera. We'll figure it out. I actually think I know what it is, and it's nowhere near where it needs to be. The 40 watt diode makes me nervous. I've known about it for a while. I wasn't allowed to tell you guys. Some of the sometimes they'll tell me about something, and I have to agree not to say anything if they're going to send it to me early to review it. So I've known about it for a while, and I love, you guys know me, and I love the innovation. I like the way things are going, but it's scaring me that we went from 5 watts to 10 watts to 20 watts in a year. And not even a year after that 20 watt was out, now we're doing 40. And it's not just, and this isn't just X tool, because a Tezer's got a 35 watt head coming out, and I think it'll go on the frame for the 20. Because I believe, don't hold me to this, I think the 40 watts going to come out with a frame too, the X tool. I'm not positive, but at some point in time, you're going to have to redesign the way that's on there, because you're going to have too much weight. And so it makes me nervous for a couple of reasons. One, weight. I'm worried that you're going to get this way more powerful laser, but it's going to be slow, because it just, basically you put it on here, and let's say it weighs double. Right? It's not going to weigh exactly double, but it's going to weigh a significant amount more than the 20 watt does. I feel like the compensation for that is going to slow things down, which, powerful is good and speed is good, but slow powerful, I'd rather have speed, if that makes sense. And then my other concern is, it's like a safety thing, man. My CO2 lasers are contained; they're in containers. So the fact that the one upstairs is 45 watt, this one's 100 watt, I still feel pretty safe around them. Whereas we're just talking open architecture on this stuff. 5 watts. When I got my first 5 watt laser, let's get back up to, I'm just going to put this up here. Somebody go give me the cliff notes from the X Tools video, because dude, I cannot watch their lives. They're way too long. And they laugh. They fake laugh too much. A 5 watt diode laser out of your peripheral, like if it's running and I'm doing something, and I speak from experience, and not wearing my safety glasses, right? Because I'm like, it's over there. Like I'm not really looking at it or anything. It's just doing its thing. I have like at the end of the day, like my left eye has been noticeably more painful than my right from doing that. That's a 5 watt laser. So like now that we're to the 20s, like it scares me with like luckily my kids are short and I can kind of wall off around so they just can't like accidentally look at it. I just feel like that's I feel like that might be too much like light admitting out in the room, dangerous light, that it might be bad for your eyes. I feel like that Ned Flanders, the episode of Simpsons where Ned Flanders, they go to the future or something. He's blind and he's like, I shouldn't have gotten that LASIK surgery. I feel like we just don't know enough about it yet. They also, X-Tool wanted to, I was supposed to have a conference call with them because they wanted to discuss with me my thoughts, like basically diode versus CO2, and with this 40 watt head, would I still favor CO2? And my thing is, without any other in this in this context, yeah, I still favor CO2. One, it's more efficient, but two, it's safer. Anyway, that is my thoughts on the 40 watt diode laser heads. Let's see, and yeah, and like I've known about it for a little bit of time. Again, I couldn't tell you guys, or I would have. You had to know it was coming as soon as Adam Stack or somebody announced. Adam Stack or Sculpt Fun announced like a 35 watt. And I'm like, as soon as they announce that, I'm like, X-Tool's got to have one. You know, they won't that sit. So, first time here. Dan, so normally we were a little bumpy there during the holidays because I get busy, but I do this podcast, I call it the Laser Lab, every Wednesday. So and inevitably something comes up one of those Wednesdays. So it's usually about 3 times a month, I guess, to be perfectly honest with you. I would like to do it every Wednesday, but I have kids and stuff like that, and shit happens, and you know. But the idea of this is, so Dean, were you on last night? Let me just kind of answer that either way. Last night we had Makers Therapy, which is a new concept that I'm trying out on the channel. It probably won't stay on Build Dad Build. It will probably like go live in its own, like on its own channel eventually. It's just easier for me to manage it here now. But it's me and 2 other makers, and we talk about mental health stuff and like basically kind of like related to being your own boss and stuff like that, and like the stuff that comes along with that. And the 3 of us are a bunch of broken toys, so we kind of like try to help people hash stuff out via our experiences. And that currently is going to be happening once a month. I don't know when February is going to be yet. It might be, it's like, I think I don't know when February is going to be yet. This Laser Lab, my idea for this is to do Q&A, talk about stuff like new shit coming out, but also, and I don't know if we're going to do too much of this tonight because let me finish and I'll tell you why. But what I would like to do is, if you're having an issue with your laser, or let's hear you're having an issue with your laser that's a little bit more involved than something where I can just kind of like give you a couple of steps over an email. Bring you on. Maybe we try to recreate it with my laser, or I could bring you on camera, and you could show your issue, and we could try to, like, everybody here could try to troubleshoot it. Or let's say you're having a problem with a project, it's not cutting right, or you want to know how to do something. I could try it here, and then we can go from there. So this, that's the basics. I want to help you guys that want to like start laser businesses. I want to get your tripping points out of the way. So if you want to talk more about like the best way to get your business off the ground, we can do that too. But that's what this is about. Now, the reason we might not go as long as we normally go is because I earlier today was trying to open a bottle of CA glue, and it wouldn't open. So naturally, I stuck it in my mouth like this, and I broke one of my teeth. Like half of my molar just fell off, and I cannot tell you how bad my mouth hurts right now. Let's see. So Chris was talking about the 40 watt. I like you won't be able to go as fast. Now, granted, like the D1 Pro can go what 440 millimeters a second or something. So maybe like, and you're never going to go that fast. So maybe you're not really going to see it, but like I'll believe it when I see it. Xtool's pretty good about making stuff. I mean, normally I like the concept, at least, I mean, like there's some hiccups along the ways, but I don't know. It makes me nervous, and maybe it shouldn't. So Resin says bought the 40 watt a couple months ago, and now the 40 watts coming out. Wonder if the 40 watts is going to be more of a fire hazard. Yes. The more power you're running, it's always more of a fire hazard. It just is. Now, I mean, like that's 100. Now it's it's constructed in more of a way where I'm less worried about that than my diodes about catching fire, depending on what I'm doing. But yeah, it's definitely more of a fire hazard. So it'll be like 2 hours long, Deanne. Or Dean, sorry, or Deanne. If you haven't been to one before, I can't make them through them. Like I even try to watch them the next day, and I fast forward through them. I too much. I know, right? Yeah, it's funny. The Xtool didn't tell me anything about that. Everybody's like, "What's the new thing coming out?" I'm like, "There's a new thing coming out," and then like, "It's a fire extinguisher." I'm like, "Oh well, I don't need that. I got plenty." Yeah, Resin's got it down. Their lives are like infomercials. Let's see. So do we know that for a fact, Jeff? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. It did get bigger from the 10 to from the 10 to the 20. And then it just like, I don't know, some of that kind of boils down to like, how fine a detail do you need? Because even the bigger dots are pretty good, pretty, I mean, it's still like what, 100th of a millimeter or 10th of a millimeter talking about difference, or 2/10. Let's see. My issue is what acrylic you're still able. Yeah, Drew. So you're never going to be able to cut clear stuff with a diode laser. Is my understanding. It's just never going to happen. It's not that it's not powerful enough. It just it doesn't see it, right. The frequency of the beam. The nanometer. I'm trying to think whatever the beam doesn't see clear, so it just passes right through it. And like, if you've ever tried to cut clear acrylic by like coating it or something, it's focused too hot. So so it melts it back together. It gets all bubbly and gross. So I would think the 40 watt just make a big mess. I agree. I listen. I love me some I love me some diodes. I think they're great hobby machines, and I think they're great for starting a business. But I think eventually you're going to wind up in CO2 land if your business takes off, which it should. Hold on. See that? How gross is that? That's a piece of my tooth. They keep coming out. Yeah, I think you're always going to wind up in CO2 land. And like the reason I recommend diodes is because they're inexpensive and they're good to learn on, and they're good to, like, if you mess up with your diode, like you don't break something really expensive. Like the parts are, fairly inexpensive and accessible. Rick, totally agree. I don't know if I think those are any safer. I mean, everybody's going to compete with everybody, and they're all making them at the same place. Exels is just prettier. Let's see. Do you have an airbrush? I do. I've never set it up. It's still in the box right over there. I can't. I bought it because I was going to do clear acrylic and got sidetracked and never did it. I'll do it this year. I like, not to get too into it, but my mom was sick in the hospital for like 10 months last year before she died. I was not in a full-on production mindset all of last year. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to get done this year just because I didn't do last year. Get used to it, man. Happens. It's technology, man. It's like cell phones. You buy the new cell phone, and well, I mean, obviously, Apple's got it down to a science now. But Android, you buy one of the new Samsungs, and then Samsung announces their next new thing. I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan of cut. Like I love to cut material with the CO2. It seems like it's so much better. It seems like it's so much more work for a diode. You could do it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, and it works and everything. But yeah, let's see, laser method. What? I'm assuming that S10. I'm assuming it's 10 watt. Are you trying to cut? You say 3mm wood. Are you trying to cut plywood? Or are you trying to cut like wood, like hardwood? Because plywood's always going to give you a problem, especially with the diode, but even with a CO2 to a certain degree, because of the glue and the plies. Is the running of CO2 hard to learn? Absolutely not. Super easy. If you and even more easy if you know how to operate a diode. What I would suggest is staying away, if you can, from anybody that has a like a locked out system that you have to use their software to their proprietary software to use the CO2, because a lot of times that's where your learning curve comes in, and that's where it gets a little bit more difficult. The reason I say if you can avoid it is because what you'll run into is the cheaper CO2s a lot of times have proprietary software, whereas like this guy has some like they have some of their own proprietary software, but you can run it off Lightburn too. So if you know Lightburn, then you're in like Flynn. My CO2 upstairs is full spectrum laser, and it has proprietary software. Now the proprietary software to me is pretty easy too, but I like the freedom to be able to use, especially since I use so many different lasers, to be able to use Lightburn, to use that laser. I don't I don't know if I'll review another laser ever if it doesn't have Lightburn, like if it's not Lightburn compatible. Just because that way I don't have to learn their software too. But yeah, it's all like everything else is relatively the same. Macros Queen Fitness and Nutrition. I'm sorry, I'm just now reading your name. All right. Okay, sir. Sorry, I was reading that as Marcos is first, and my airbrush says Rust-Oleum on the top. I love it. I mean, he can. I can cut. Well, so check this out. Like, where I put it up. There it is. If you guys watched like shorts today, I was talking about this because if you look real close, I guess I had bad spray paint because it just stayed tacky at like 12 hours later it was still tacky. So I put it in the oven thinking like, you know, it would, like if I put it in the oven just a low temp, it would heat it up and it would dry it. It did not. It bubbled it and made it all nasty. But this is 1/2 inch plywood. Cut this whole thing. So this is 10 inches. That's what she said. And like that detail and everything was 14 minutes on the CO2. So like anything you can do on a diode, you're going to be able to do like a little, like you're going to be able to do like a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and a little bit faster on a CO2. And then if you get a higher power CO2, your speed's just going to increase. The thing is still sticky. Still sticky. Let's see. So, laser, dude, send me a send me a an email. Give my email here. Send me an email and we can talk about it. But if you're still having a problem with it, we can we'll probably bring it on next week. I just don't I don't have this guy set up, and my mouth is killing me. I don't know if I'll I don't know if troubleshooting a project is that, or I don't know if troubleshooting something like that's gonna like work right now. All right, yeah, brother. So let's talk about handling the business side. First thing is like niche, guys, and keep in mind that I mean, everybody wants to make the cool thing that they like, but that may not be there may not be a niche for that, or that niche may be sorry, maybe like full, right? Or not full, but like, you know, there's a word that's escaping me. Oversaturated. So look for niches that that like maybe you're up and coming, or that just don't have a lot of competition right now, that still have a high search volume. So like the keychains, like my horror keychains, I was throwing some stuff against the wall to see if it would stick, and those took off. And it wasn't like, man, I want to make horror keychains. Honestly, I make them out of engravable plastic. I'm kind of like a tree huggy kind of guy. I'm not a super tree huggy guy, but like I'd rather not make those out of plastic. But they sell, and I make them durable enough that I know they're gonna last. So unless somebody's throwing them away, it's not a consumable per se. But you know, so you got to find that kind of stuff out. We can do a whole night on different business stuff. Easy. Oh, so I'm sorry. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. So I literally just like I take a drink of whiskey and I shift all of it over to like sit on top of that tooth and kind of like numb it out, and then I drink it. So you're going to run into, now remember that I think I've cut an inch piece of pine with the 20 watt. And not well, I mean, it kind of burned it a little bit, but you're going to get to a point where the focal length of your laser is going to not be sustainable. So, ooh, can I use my board? So as I don't kill myself getting it. I've shifted my entire shop around to build this desk, so give me a second. Ugh. All right. What can you see? Get this up here a little closer. Yeah. Okay. All right. You, hey, bro, face over here. It lost me, didn't it? Okay. I was like, why can't I see any of the whiteboard? All right. So just so you guys know how like laser beams work, right? They come down. Let's see the best way to explain this. This is like a super gigantic view. Okay, so your blue diode laser comes down and it's come down like this, and this is blue diode, right? When it gets to this point, you have so, and then it goes like, and then it comes out. Okay, so this is a horrible drawing. Let's try to make it a little better. Okay, so this area right here, like this section, like right here to here, is the area where you're focused enough to cut or, wow, you cannot see that at all, can you? I didn't mean for it to be glaring off the screen. Does it work better if it's over there? How about if I just move it over here? It doesn't matter. There we go. Okay. So that area right there is like where it's going to cut. Okay. So let's say let's say that this distance, right, is like what, ½ inch. So if your laser is still coming in like that, if this laser is 5 watts or it's 40 watts, it's not going to ever cut more than that, because that's the only area where it's focused. Are you with me? So did I wait? Okay. So unless you had some sort of like CNC type software that was lowering the laser each time it cut, you're never going to be able to cut more than a certain amount. So like that's so I like at a certain point, it doesn't matter how powerful that is, if it doesn't like if the focal length isn't any bigger, right? That's another benefit of CO2 lasers, is you can swap out the lens, right? So I have this unit back here has comes with a 2-inch lens on it, but I have a 1.5 inch lens, so I can do like more detailed work. It's got a 2.5 inch lens, which I used. Let me here. I have examples and everything. All right, I do have examples, but I do need to run out of the room real quick because it's in the kitchen. So give me just a second. All right, talk amongst yourselves. You can also look at, oh, I erased it. Give me a second. Okay, so this is a piece of Shigeban wood that I laser engraved. It's funny because the light out here is even making it look like that. There we go. That looks a little bit better. I laser engraved through the Diode Shigeban. Okay, hold on. There. Okay. Through the Diode Shigeban. I don't know why I can't get this on the camera. There we go. And if you see this area, well, see this area and this area right here, how it's burnt. It's a 2-inch lens. Okay, so I think this board is cupped slightly, and I think that was coming out of focus. So I ran it multiple times, and I think I ended up just burning that area. Okay, so I did the same thing with a 2.5-inch lens, and it looks like this. So don't mind the knot in the middle. I can't do anything about that. But you see what I'm talking about? So being able to adjust focal length is very sweet in that regards. And also, I don't know if you can see how deep this is. Look at how deep that engrave is. Anyway, and then I also have a 4-inch lens. And what they use 4-inch lenses for is AP Laser does a lot of work with like engraving monuments and coffins and things like that. And, you know, coffin. So you can engrave a coffin with it without having to, you know, rotate the coffin. Anyway, so that is that's that, Jeffrey. I think that's like way less information or way more information you wanted, but that's what you get, son. Chris, I did see that. I just saw that like right before I jumped on here. That somebody said that the latest software update, you can stop and start now in the middle of a project, which is nice. Hey, Gretz. Oh, wow. I'm way behind, aren't I? Okay. I don't mean to dox you there, brother. Let's see. With X tool for my demo shows. Da, 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 da. Did I tell you my thing? Let me show you. Oh. 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 What does that say? Slow forge. Yeah. I'm going to destroy a glow forge on the channel. So yeah, don't buy a glow forge. I hate them. They're mean. Actually, wow, I haven't seen. This was 6. Ha ha ha. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up in the chat here. I've been talking too much. Okay. I'm going like woohoo. I'm going all the way down. Okay, I'm going all the way back up. I gotta get Jack off there. All right. If you asked a question and I have not addressed it yet, ask it again because I am no. So for those of you that don't know, I had I had reached out to Glowforge actually before I got the full spectrum laser, the Muse. I'd reached out to Glowforge and asked them if they wanted to partner or like do an affiliate program or something like that. And most of the people that I reach out to either say yes or no, or they just don't respond. No big deal. They took it upon themselves to tell me that I just wasn't their kind of people. And that I was not a good match for their brand. I hold grudges. I do. Like, so sorry, but I'm going to break one of the things on camera and tell everybody that story. Let's see. Best beginning laser. I would say D1 Pro or a Tezer P20 plus or 20P plus or whatever it's called. Oh, that was a two dirty hands. The best beginning laser. Those would be my two. And I would say that the Tezer is probably a little bit better of a laser, but X Tool has more of a community. So it's kind of which way you want to go. Like you're gonna find more. It's gonna be easier for you to find answers to things because you can talk to other people with your with the D1 than it would be with the Tezer. If you're a hermit, want to live in your shop, definitely get the Tezer. Best beginning CO2 laser. That's hard, man. Because when you get into CO2s, aside from the Chinese lasers, and I say Chinese lasers because that's what they all call them. They a lot of times they're just called like a red and blue or black and yellow, black and yellow. Anyway, those can be wonky, and I would steer clear of those. What you want is the Rudia driver, or the Rudia. Hold on. Yeah, the Rudia controller. Is that what it is? Yes, the Rudia controller. As my understanding, because it works with Lightburn, it's more compatible with other with other softwares and things like that. So that's what you want to look for. Other than that, I would say I can get you a good deal. I can get you a discount on a full spectrum laser, which I love. I love their stuff. They do have proprietary software. I don't think their software is that bad. I can get you in to talk to somebody about an AP laser, but you're going to spend a lot of money. Now, the AP laser, hands down, to me is one of the best lasers on the market. So, just everything all the time is easy with it. Even their customer service is easy. So you gotta love that. But I would definitely start out with like with a diode, and like get your feet wet with that, understand what you're doing, and then look at it, and then look at a CO2. And if you're just saying best beginning CO2 laser, it makes you feel like maybe you haven't done a ton of research. Do your research, or even email me. Didn't I have my email address on? There, we'll just leave it down there. Email me and we can discuss further. And hell yeah. What's up, Ben? Ben, I broke a molar. I literally bit down on something earlier and like half of one of my teeth fell off. So I'm soaking it in whiskey. Which is why when I talk, if you see me go like this, I'm trying to not touch it. I think, wait. I did notice that my mouth's doing something weird. For the added screw Z axis depth when I use the camera sound. I don't know, because I don't know what the added screw Z axis depth is. I think I'm just not understanding those words put together that way. I agree, man. And honestly, like I dog on them just a little bit, but I think the X Tool is a really solid unit. I've never said that I don't. I think the IR unit, I think they just put that out there. It's kind of a cash grab. Whatever. The F1, they're supposed to be sending me one of those guys out to check out, so we'll see how that is. That's gonna be, to me, it's gonna be a better solution for metals. And Glowforge is too big for their britches. I agree. Very nice. Good to know that they're doing refurbs too now. I'm a refurb person. Love it. Yeah, and a lot of people start with a K40, man. Like there's a guy called like that laser engraver guy on TikTok, and he grew his entire channel basically just saying, "Don't buy a Glowforge," and then he would just make recommendations on what else, what to buy instead, and it was, the K40s and Omtech and stuff like that. I mean, is it Ruia? All right. James is telling me how to talk now, which is fun. This is a little Elijah Craig small batch. Very small batch, judging by this bottle that I should have filled more of. Dude, check this out. So y'all know the camera follows me when I move. Watch this. Whoa! Whoa! I don't know. I found that out earlier. I think it's kind of cool. And so I'm gonna do a review on this webcam because I like it, but Insta360 has one now that has a like hands down mode, or a like a face down mode, whatever. Basically, the camera stays in the same place. It stays on top of your monitor and points down, but it does that like. It uses the same technology that like those 360 car videos do, where it looks like it's all around there, but there's no way that the cameras can be up that high. And it extrapolates a picture of your desktop, but perfect, not at an angle. Like it looks like you're like shooting straight down on it. That's cool. And you can take like a whiteboard, and there's stickers, and you can put them on each corner. If you do that, you can go to whiteboard mode, and it will just like track the board. So I might be ordering one of those too. What is it? Let's see. What is the difference between CO2 and a diode? All sorts of stuff. So a diode is like a diode is a you've got energy in, hits the diode, expands energy out, kind of. That's oversimplifying it, and somebody else will totally tell me. Um, Whereas CO2 is it's a long tube filled with water that has, I believe it's CO2 in it, right? And that's how they make their energy to create their beam, and it shoots out the other side. That is the basics difference on the laser. A diode laser is typically blue, and I think, if I remember correctly, the only reason they're blue diodes is because blue diodes are less expensive than like other colors, I think. And like CO2 in a CO2 laser is clear, so you can't see CO2 at all. Whereas you can the beam of a diode is on the visible spectrum, so you can see the beam coming out of it, or a lot of times you can see it in, like what it's hitting. Whereas CO2 you can't see it at all. That's why CO2s are dangerous to have not enclosed, because it could be on and you wouldn't know it. Like wouldn't be able to see it. Other than those are the biggest differences. There's an energy consumption that CO2s like consume less power to do the same thing than a diode does, but it's really kind of hard because it's apples and oranges to how powerful they are. I feel like I just so are you still you're talking about the to adjust? Oh yeah, so you shouldn't have to do anything to adjust for that. Maybe I'm missing something. I honestly, I've heard of them. They are good. Other than that, I don't know anybody that has one, and I've never used one. Interesting. Okay, so Scott's saying that 100 or $1,000 for the 40 watt comes with a new gantry and control board for it. Where the fuck are they putting the control board? The gantry makes sense just because it's got to be wider to clip on the anyway. Man, that still makes me nervous. Okay, I got you. I don't exactly know how to fix that, but email Daniel at Alive Pixel Creation, and he should have the answer for that. He's a very smart dude, and I'm sure it's come up before. What is the average lifespan of a typical diode? Usually between 5,000 and 10,000 hours. The thing is, I don't know why people ask that so often, and here's why: is that these things print money. By the like, I will have replaced this before it burns out on me. I mean, they just print money. There's no reason, like, there's no concern about that. If it was 1,000 hours, like that would not change my mind one bit on buying one. Are you making that up, Andy, or they just say that? I just haven't heard anything about it. They should. I mean, honestly, they should get into CO2. The biggest, I'd be really curious. My curiosity with that would be, how big is it going to be? Because, Omtech has, I think it's Omtech, like they have a small unit that's pretty affordable, but the the bed size, I think it's like 12. I think it's like 12 by 14 or 12 by 18, maybe, which is kind of small. I mean, for the price, I guess it's fine. I started marketing my wares on Etsy because I don't like people. um, to me, where you decide to market your things all depends on what kind of guy you are or what kind of person you are. Sorry, ladies, and the actual ladies. If you are a talker, if you like to talk to people and yammer about the things you make, craft shows, dude. Go to craft shows, go to farmers markets, do that stuff, because people eat that up. I don't like to talk to people, really. So that's not like really my venue. I like the online sale because I like to be able to communicate with you when I want to. And so that's the reason I went with Etsy. Etsy was just the easiest way to get started. And honestly, the only reason I opened an Etsy store at all was because I said once I had made enough money with a laser, actually CO2 laser, but with a CO2 laser that wasn't a Glowforge, I was going to buy a Glowforge and I was going to destroy it, which is exactly what I did. Well, did and will do. Interesting. I'm just curious. Like I said, they were asking me like why I would pick CO2 over diode, and I don't understand. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like I like speed and efficiency, are my two things. Yeah. See, it's hard though, man, because think about it. Like, I feel you, man. Like, like $1,000 is a lot for a unit. Because what was the 20 watt when it came out? 20 watt when it came out was like 800 or 700. Was it 799 or was it 799 or 699? I'm just rounding up. But you could buy that and put it on your 10 watt frame at that point. So you weren't having to buy a whole new thing. Now, don't get me wrong, and just I don't want to hear anybody complain about this, by the way. That 40 watt head is going to come out, and like within 2 to 3 months, they're going to come out with a full kit. That's going to be the head and everything. And everybody's going to be like, I can't believe they did that. And I'm like, y'all should have waited then, because they always do that. So I guarantee you that will happen. They will come out with a unit that is, let's see. So the head is $1,000. It's going to be $2,500. They are going to discount it like almost permanently for like $21.99. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, they'll do that. So if you already have a 20 watt, don't buy the 40 watt until the 40 watt kit comes out. Okay, hold on. Boop. Got to go up here. When marketing things on Etsy, would you recommend photoshopping images onto pictures of your items to save time and products, since most orders are custom made, or actually engraving your items? I do all of my own. Okay, so let's be clear. I sell two different things. I sell two kinds of things on Etsy. I sell my laser engraved keychains, which are actually the only thing I really sell except around Christmas time. Like those are the only things that I get people buy, I guess. But I also sell print on demand stuff, like t-shirts that say different things and mugs and stuff like that. So I do the Photoshop thing for my print on demand stuff. Anything I make myself, I take actual pictures of. I stage them. I get them all pretty. I put different stuff around them, like, you know, little Funko Pops or something, and then I take pictures because I want them to be as legit as possible. The thing is, you like, and I didn't realize this about Etsy either. I know Etsy is all about the like hand goods and homemade and stuff like that, but people that shop on Etsy want to feel that, man. They would rather have like a decent picture that looks like you took it yourself than like a really good picture that looks like you didn't have anything to do with it. Is my experience. Bait checking, we're not. We were gonna. Um, and then oh shit, it just occurred to me. Hey bud. I was telling these guys earlier, I don't know how long you've been here. I needed to open a bottle earlier and I went to bite it in my mouth and twist it and I like cracked my molar in half and like part of my tooth fell off. So I am just basically like taking a little sips of whiskey and letting that dude marinate in there for a second and then drinking it because it hurts a lot. That is a great question. Do you need somebody to send you something, man? What are you talking about? Let's see. Dude, so Xtool's been after me to do like a contest, like a 100,000 subs contest, and I'm gonna take them up on it, but they make it such a pain in the ass to do contests because they want like I want to follow the YouTube rules and they don't want to basically. And so it makes it difficult for me. It makes it not fun for me. I'll do it anyway, so I can get you guys some deals. Are we moving or are we not moving? We're not moving. Okay, good. Because I wanted to do this. No, I'll do that. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I also need to talk to my person about a discount code. I don't have a discount code that's live right now. They right about right around Thanksgiving they took my code down because they were and honestly they should have because the deals that were running were better than my code was anyway. So I would never do this because because I don't have it. Well, actually, oh no, hold on. Interest-free monthly payments. Okay, so here's the deal. If you're diligent about your business, because like if you try, you can make money with it. Stop. If you try, you're going to make money with your diode. Like you have to kind of go out of your way to not want to make money, to not make money with your diode. They print money. They make. You just need to find the thing that people need, your friends, whatever, and you will make money. So that's actually not a bad idea as long as you are structured enough to when you've made $88 that month with your laser to send it to them. Actually, what I would do is I would just have I would send well, depending, I would probably like whatever I made that month, I would have it and send it to them or something, and send them half. I don't like paying stuff off. Drives me nuts. I don't if I don't have to, like I don't. Like we own our cars and yeah, I don't do that. Still paying the house off though. Let's see. You have about 15 seconds to draw someone in. Oh yeah, no, you're correct. 15 millimeter plywood. What is that? What? How many? Alexa, how many inches?
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
I
Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
I think I have a bad dot. Like she's just been bitchy for like recently. How many inches? It's escaping me right now. Or portions of an inch is 15 millimeters. What CO2 that's gathering dust? My CO2s work, son. My CO2s are my business machines. Those are the ones that I actually like use to make money. I make more videos. Well, I shouldn't say that, but I make videos with them too. But I don't. No. I wish. I wish I could do that. I actually talked to AP Laser and I was like, hey, how about we do like a discount code? Like, you want to do like a discount or something like that? I'm like, yeah, we don't do that. They're like, we'll let you know when we have sales. It's like, okay. Clack Shop, Clack Shack. I'm sorry, I'm impaired. I'm mouthily impaired. Clack Shack, what's up, brother? How's it going, man? If you guys aren't following the Clack Shack, got it. Go follow him. He's a wealth of of. I want to like I've been peppering on this thing too long. A wealth of information. There it was. I was going to say a wealth of entertainment. He's entertaining too, but it just words. Okay. They just cut 18 millimeter cherry. That's pretty impressive. What PC stuff? I mean, are you working on like personal PC stuff, or are you working on content? Yeah. So I would guess, Scott, is what they're doing right now is they are looking at what people are asking, so they can come up with like very good PC answers before they release it. Be my guess. So, like the more you see a question in chat, that somebody's writing that down. My guess. My guess. Let's see. In my opinion, do I think a CO2 can replace a corporate job in relation to money? I'm a nurse, so she makes good scratch, kids. I keep telling my husband that I'm going to quit nursing to run laser biz. He thinks I'm nuts. I will say that your husband is nuts. I've had the pleasure of going to some like events with AP Laser, and there are people there all the time that are telling their story that they, they wanted to do this, or like a lot of times it's like a husband and wife want to get out from under their corporate jobs. I mean, like you've heard like the I guess the main story before, but what they did is they saved their money and they bought a ridiculously expensive laser, thinking and then immediately had buyer's regret. And within a couple of months, they're like wheelbarrowing money to the bank. So yeah, you could 100% do that. Yeah, he's nuts. I think everybody should buy a laser and just start making shit. No, but you can. I mean, the thing is like, Sarah, you gotta be serious about it. You know, I mean, you gotta like, you have to find your niche. You've got to figure out what you want to do. You got to understand production costs and stuff like that. I mean, basically, you're going to go from, um, like, pardon my French, but being told what to do to having to tell yourself what to do, which sounds awesome until you realize that you don't know all that other stuff. So, like, doing that shift, it's just a lot of it is just a huge learning curve that you got to be ready for. But you're a nurse, you get shit thrown at you, sometimes literally like on a daily basis. And I mean, like curveballs and whatnot. I think you'd handle it fine. I learned from you, Richard Crew. Oh, sweet. Well, make sure your back doesn't hurt first, because it will after. Oh, good God. She's a traveling nurse, guys. So, which means that she makes even way more money than I thought she did. But here's the thing, Sarah. So here's what I would do if I were you, and maybe you have been doing this. Um, as I don't know if everybody here knows, but traveling nurses make a lot of money, like a lot. I would squirrel away like a nice big chunk. I would squirrel away like enough to cover your your expenses, which like I don't know how that works with your husband, whatever, for 3 months, right? And enough to buy a laser. I would buy with what you're trying to do. I would buy like a decent sized CO2. I wouldn't. I don't know if I would. I mean, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to do really large things, buy a bigger one. Um, but yeah, I would squirrel away that much money too. I would buy my laser, and then I would live off that 3 months worth of stuff that I saved up. And my thought would be that you'd probably start making money in the first month. Well, if the laser is bought and paid for, you'll start making money within the first month. But worst case scenario, 3 months out. I'm a big worst case scenario guy. Worst case scenario, it would take you 3 months to start making money. Like money, not like, oh, I made $1. You know, I made more than I sold. But yeah, let me know if like, especially if you're looking at AP Laser, email me at my email address down below, and I will get you in touch with the peoples. And they can walk you through a lot of that stuff. They have a turnkey solution. Some people don't want it, some people do, but basically, like a lot of times when you buy a CO2 laser, you go and you're like, oh, this CO2 laser is 5-10 grand. Okay, I'm down. And then it's like, oh, but you also need a water cooler, and that's going to be another 4 grand. You need this and you need that. And so it ends up adding up very quickly. Now, when you go to AP Laser, their prices are a little bit more expensive, but it already comes with all that stuff. And like normally it even comes with a laptop, if you need it. I like to have a laptop because it's just is the laser's laptop, and I don't do anything else with it. Where in the hell is a good place to get 3mm wood, but not plywood? Jeff, I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to tell you. It is right here. I think I put it in here. Oh, man, I'm not as slick as I thought it was. I swear I put it. I swear. There it is. Bam. Right there. You go to Cooch, not lying, Hardwoods. Cooch, baby. Cooch. I love their hardwoods. They're reasonably priced. They're not they're not the cheapest. They're not super expensive either, but they're plywood, or not their plywood. They're project ready wood. They have a ton of different uh, species. Their wood is consistently very good and like not free type thing. Like it's not jacked up like that. Their shipping is good. Their shipping is fairly inexpensive. Hello. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, where did I? Little coach. That's right. Jeff is absolutely correct. Um, I think we're good, right? Did I finish? Now I don't know where I was when I was talking. When the guys stopped hearing me. If I didn't answer somebody's question fully, please re-ask the question as I look for my booze. Mm. Mm. Oh wow. Okay, sorry about that. Woo. What's up, Chad? I nothing. Chilling, man. So yeah, God, man, I really wish I had I want to show off my desk, man. Let's see. Let's see how well you guys can see a picture on my phone. I had this whole thing where I don't have enough desk space. And so I originally, like the desk that I built last year, it's totally fine. I do not have a Cooch code. I've tried to get a Cooch code, Jeff. And they like it's funny. I've sent them several messages where like, hey, I love your stuff. If you want me to like, do something in like, if you want to do like an affiliate thing or something, like, and give me like a coupon code, discount code, then that would be cool. And they never respond. Like it's not like oh, we're not interested or anything like that. Maybe they're super busy. I know it's like a family owned business. Maybe I just go straight to their junk mail. I don't know. Anyway, so I was just going to add on to the desk I have up there, but then it's a sit to stand desk, and I thought it would be weird to put an L on one side. I don't know if it's going to fall over. So I'm currently making a new one, and the stupid stop fouling it. Okay, now you can't see it. Okay, that's horrible. I'm sorry. I'm trying to show it to you. My lights are killing me. Yeah, Cooch codes are nice. What kind of wood is it? Just out of curiosity, Laser. I feel like I suddenly got like a really big lag. You guys still there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is anybody out there? So Chad, so the paradigm has shifted, my friend. Long form videos are not the main thing anymore. I'm not just saying that. This is kind of the way that YouTube's going. Right now I'm working on a desk. It's sitting right there, about halfway through it. That is probably going to be the next video, unless it seems like it's taking a little long, and then I might try to stick something in there. But yeah, that's going to be next. And then the next video after that, as long as something else doesn't come up, which it could, I'm going to use, I'm going to try to use tattoo ink to dye wood. Chad asked what's coming up. I really need to click those before I answer questions. Jack, where are you? 5 a.m. I'm on the other side of the planet, man. Bro, I like nothing touches this thing. I've been ambisoling it. Well, whiskey actually helps, but just like cloves, like, you're talking about clove cigarettes, or are you talking about cloves that you like spice cloves? All right, dude, I'm gonna tell you, plywood's just a bitch. All right, it just is. I'm sorry, it happens. I try to not use plywood almost always. Like, always just use like a good like a good hardwood, like a walnut, birch, cherry. All that stuff cuts so well. That plywood is just a pain in the ass after a while, because it's inconsistent. It doesn't always cut all the way through. Sometimes like 90% of it will cut and 10% of it won't cut all the way through. It's just too much of a headache. Hardwoods, dude. Like actual woods. Just no plywood. And nothing with I would say nothing with like a really heavy grain pattern in it. All right, Joe, take it easy. I'm jumping off here in a minute too. We can get it done, brother. It's just plywood, and honestly, Okuch probably like has like really good like a really solid glue that they use to do their plywood. So it's just probably what's giving you the problem. So for those of you that don't know, I say this a lot, but there's always new people, so I'm gonna say it again. Heat, glue dissipates heat. So when you have something that's glued together, uh, and you fire heat at it, instead of like firing straight through, it absorbs it and dissipates it out. So plywood becomes infinitely harder to cut through than regular wood for that reason. Now sap, sap does play into that a little bit, but sap's not nearly as much of a heat dissipant as glue is. We can still do it, brother. Like I guarantee you. I mean, I can cut 1/8 inch plywood on my diode. You just gotta figure it out. But like in the future, I mean, just I would work with. I know plywood's a little bit less expensive, but man, especially when you start cutting stuff out of like walnut, people are gonna like be like, "Psh, get that get that plywood shit out of here." Thanks, brother. I've been meaning to say this all night. I have a disappointment tomorrow at 10. So it's just we're fine. We're fine. I wasn't I thought about not getting on here, but like this at least this keeps my mind off a little bit. And it has for almost an hour and a half, but it's really starting to get to me now. So I'm gonna sign out, guys. Normally I would ask you for questions, but if you have questions, email me in my email address down below. I will adjust them next week. Um, and and whatnot. But I've um I'm trying not to win some pain. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate all of you. Night.